Welcome to my channel's IT Minds. So today we will discuss about the data types in C. Okay. So let's see what are data types. Why we need the data types? So data types in C, there are different data types in C. Like we are having, it is differentiated into four types. Basic data types, that is integer, char, float, and double. Derived data types, array, pointer, structure, sign, union. Enumeration data type, it is defined by using the enum keyword, and lastly the void data type is declared by using the void data type. So we will see one by one what are their uses. So we'll go to the developer C++. We will begin with the integer data type. So we'll try to see what is an integer data type. So integer is again classified as short int, long int, long int. Okay, we will see for it as, suppose if I am declaring a variable as a short int a, what happens? So when we are declaring a variable as integer variable, we can assign the integer variables negative, positive as well as zero value to it. We cannot assign the decimal values. When we want to assign the decimal values, we will declare this data type as either double or float, depending upon the precision decimal values that we want. If we want to more precision, we will declare it as a double. So for integer variables, we need to declare it as a short int. Int is again we can classify it as short int, long int, and int. So we will see when we declare a variable as short int, what happens? We will see the size which is allocated to this variable a when we are declaring as a short int. We can see it printf. We will see the size of the integer variable a. Okay, so I am writing the size of a variable. Since it is an integer variable, we are using it as a %d, comma a. I need to give it as size of a. So it will show the maximum number of bytes which are given to this variable a. Okay, so we will try to run this program. So you can see the size of integer a variable is 2 bytes. So now what is actually a 2 bytes? When we are giving it as a 2 bytes, what happens there? So 2 bytes means 1 byte is equals to 18 bits. Okay, 8 bit. That is when I am using it as a 1 byte. I can the size that is allocated to it is 8 bits. Okay, so if I am giving it as a 2 bytes, when I am declaring it as a short int, the maximum size that is allocated to the integer variable is 2 bytes, that is 16 bits. So 16 bits size is allocated to the short int variable. So when I am assigning it as a declaring it as a short int, what is the maximum size it can carry? So 1 bit it can take the value as either 0 or 1. So the maximum value when we are declaring it as a short int is 2 raised to 16, but 1 bit is allocated to the sign plus or minus 1. So out of 16 we are having only the 15 bits. So 2 raised to 15 we get the maximum value for 2 raised to 15 is 32,000. So 1 bytes we have reserved for the sign, so remaining, that is 2 raised to 15. The maximum value we can give it for 2 raised to 13 is 32,768. That is the maximum value we can assign to it when I am declaring it as a short int. So the maximum value that can give it when I am declaring a variable as short int is 32768. We will try to see if I am giving the value as 33,000 what happens. Okay, so we can see the maximum value. If I am giving it as 25,000, it will give me the value that is the maximum value that we can take it as 32,768. If I am giving it as 33,000, okay, more than 32,768, it will give me the error. It will not show the value A as 33,000. We can try to see print the value of A. Value of A is so it will not show me the value 33,000. The maximum value of A is 32,536 here it is showing. So we can give that value only. Okay, more than that 32,756 it will not allowed. So if I am giving a lesser value, it will take that value. Okay, 25,000, 26,000, whatever you want to give, 28,000. It will take that value which are less than that. So now it will show me the exactly whatever I have given, that is 28,989. Whereas if I am giving more than 32,568 or 32,768, it will give that error. Okay. So you can see that whatever the value we have given, which is less than that 32,000, it is showing. But if I am giving more than the value of 32,000, it is giving me that error. So this is about the short data types. Similarly, when we declare a variable as normal int, the size that is allocated to it is, suppose if I am declaring a variable as integer b, now you can see the size of b variable. So it is taking it as 4 bytes. Okay, we can try to run this program. So you can see the size for the integer variable is 4 bytes. So now you can see the maximum value when I am giving it as a 4 bytes is 1 bits will be reserved 2 raised to 4. That comes on around 2 raised to 4. That means 1 byte is equals to 8 bits. 8 4s are 32. So 1 bits will be reserved 2 raised to 31. So we can see the maximum value which is given for 2 raised to 31 is, we will see it here. We can see this 2 raised to 31. Okay, 2 raised to 15. Okay, so this is the maximum value we can assign to the integer variables. If you try to give a value which is more than this thing, it will not take, because the size is allocated is 4 bytes. So that is the maximum value for an signed int. For an unsigned int, it will be double of it. Similarly, here also by default, when I am declaring it as a short int, it is declared as unsigned int. It is declared as a signed int. But when I am making it as an unsigned, the value will be double. Okay, 32,768, that will be approximately around 65,000. That which value we can assign. So again it is differentiated like positive sign, negative sign. When we don't want to assign the sign, the negative sign size will be assigned to the positive sign, and that's the value increases for this short int variable. So when I am declaring it as an unsigned int, the maximum value it can carry is 32,768. 32,768. So this is all about the data types that we declare using either short int, or we can also check for the long int. You can see again for long int the size is of 4 bytes only. So this is all about the integer data types. So data type means the whenever we are assigning value, what value we are assigning, that is called as data types. Like if you want to assign integer variable, we can declare it as a integer data type. If you want to declare as a decimal value, we can declare it as a float and double. Here we have seen how the integer data type, the size of the integer data type, how we can assign a value, what is the maximum value we can give it to the integer data type. Similarly, what is the maximum value we can give it to the short int and the long int. So this is all about the basic integer data types in C. So thank you all for watching this. Watch us, like and subscribe to my channels for more videos on C programming.